All right. Welcome in. Happy Halloween, first of all. I'm Dr. Natalie Phillips.
And I'm Whitney Hodges.
So we were having some technical difficulties. So we started a little bit late. And then also Dr. Galloway is not with us today, which is kind of a bummer because we had a couple of fun things planned today. She might join in a little bit, but she is still with a patient. So patients come first for sure. And so Whitney and I are going to hold down the fort on our Halloween edition of All Things Odd. So before we get started, I will have Whitney kind of just go over some of these, our YouTube channel actually.
Yeah, so as you guys can see, we have our YouTube channel and we have lots of different shows that we have recorded. So if you've missed any, please go back and check. We have a bunch of really fun thumbnails, and there's really something for everybody. So if you're interested in a topic, always leave us a comment, but also check this out because maybe we've actually already done it before. So there's just been some really fun ones that we've done. We had some Summer Olympics. We talked about some fun sayings that we have. So make sure you check it out. And it's also a good way to send videos to people who maybe don't have social media.
Yeah. And this one right here, I was just going to point out this All Things Odd right here. That's all of our shows. So if you want to look at everything that we've done, you can go here to this All Things Odd tab. Otherwise, they are categorized in things that you might want to take a look at. So just wanted to kind of put that up. Make sure you guys subscribe and follow that as well. I think today we have a really fun show today because of Halloween. You can see our spider webs up above and our pumpkin and witch hat here because it's, not all the time do we have a show on Halloween. So we thought that we'd have some fun with this and kind of go over some different tricks and treat anecdotes of being an audiologist. And so we wanted to kind of start off with that. I'm going to put this up here so you can see how to follow us. And then if Dr. Galloway comes and joins us, she can join in on her trick and her treat of being an audiologist. Okay, so I'm going to start off and then I'll have Whitney take over as well with our trick of being an audiologist or my anecdote. Okay, so a trick basically has multiple meanings, but in this case, we're not going to mean that a trick is like deceiving somebody, but instead let's use it as kind of like a mischievous thing or something clever or peculiar. And so I wanted to share this because I actually am a tinnitus and sound sensitivity provider, and I do therapy with sound therapy, and people use machines or devices to kind of help them either fall asleep or help them reduce their awareness or disturbance of tinnitus, helps them kind of just reorganize how they listen to different sounds. And so some of the devices that they use emit like a white noise or kind of a pink noise or brown noise or any other type of like whooshing sound. So it's kind of like a shh type of sound. Sometimes it's rain sounds or babbling brook. But apparently, I heard this on the radio, but apparently TikTok has been saying that these types of sounds, which is rain or white noise, actually sound similar to frying chicken. And I came in, I remember telling Whitney, and I was like, wait, what? And so I looked it up and I have an article. I was going to see, let me see if I can get this up because it's kind of funny. But basically what happens is KFC partnered with Hatch, and it is a wellness company to create a Kentucky Fried Chicken rain content channel. Yeah, let me say that again. So Hatch Wellness Company worked with Kentucky Fried Chicken, and they made the sounds, they recorded the sounds of fried chicken to help people fall asleep, because people on TikTok were saying white noise machines and everything sounds like fried chicken, or rain, I should say. So how you listen to this would be that the sound is available on Hatch for Sleep and KFC's YouTube channels, and the Hatch for Sleep Spotify page, and on Restore 2 smart sleep devices with a Hatch premium content subscription. So it's out there and people can like listen to this frying chicken sound. So I have something for you guys, and this is we're going to get to the trick in a second here. So this is kind of funny. Let me pull this up here. Okay, so this was on their Instagram, and I'm going to play this for you so that you can watch, but I thought it was quite funny if you don't believe me. So here it is. Oh, I wonder if you can hear the sound. Okay. I don't think you can hear the sound on this. So basically, it's this woman who is, and you can kind of see, she is from Hatch Wellness, and she's at the KFC. And basically, she's asking this guy different questions. Oh, here, the questions like, do you ever eat fried chicken in bed? And then, this is his response. But basically, he's breading the chicken, putting it in the baskets, and he is going to drop it. And oh, look. So, so let's do it again. So we'll try it again. All right, so we saw that, but I just wanted to kind of show you, you can actually go and you can see what they've recorded. So it's kind of crazy, but it's out there. And I actually downloaded some sounds. I was going to play it if I didn't find this little clip, and then I found the clip. But I actually downloaded some sounds. Apparently, there's not only chicken frying, there's also steak frying, and it's a little bit higher pitch. And I'm wondering if it's the density. I don't know if you audiologists or audio nerds are out there that can tell us that. But there are sounds out there of frying meat, I should say, that kind of does. I mean, now that I listen to it, it does sound a little bit like rain. So I get it. But here's where the trick comes in. Okay. So as I was listening to this and I was laughing and giggling to myself, I think what the trick is that it's all fine and great and funny. And yes, it does sound like rain. However, if you associate that sound that you're listening to as frying chicken, part of tinnitus therapy and sound therapy is I recommend for people to not have, not use sounds that have any meaning or any patterns to them. So if this meaning makes you think of fried chicken, then it kind of elicits a higher level of brain activity while you're sleeping, which is why we don't want you to use something that has meaning, such as like sometimes waves crashing on an ocean, or a heartbeat, or a nightlife with an owl hooting or a frog croaking. That has meaning, where your brain, even though you're sleeping, it will actually tune into that. And so again, if you think that rain noise sounds like frying chicken and you associate that, it's possible that I might eliminate that as a sound to use for tinnitus and sound therapy. Now, if it's relaxing to you and you can fall asleep and you don't have tinnitus, and I'm not seeing you for tinnitus, but then by all means, download frying chicken and listen to frying chicken. But that's the trick. That is what I wanted to share, because I thought it was kind of funny that people thought that rain noise, or frying chicken sounded like rain noise. And because we do use those sounds to treat tinnitus and to help you fall asleep better, I just wanted to put my 2 cents in. And I think it's actually kind of a trick to use that. So I'm going to pass it over to Whitney to see if she's got a funny trick to share as well.
Well, thank you. That's so funny. I did not believe you when you first told me that. So, my trick is more of like a story, but I have a little 4-year-old niece who was talking to my sister-in-law, her mom, and she was saying, Mom, I have a bead stuck in my ear. And her mom like kind of looked in her ear, but she was like, no, I don't really think you have a bead in your ear. And, she kept kind of bringing it up that she had a bead in her ear. So they took her to the pediatrician. They looked in her ear, didn't see anything. And then, she went out to our house and we were watching her, and she came up to me and she's like, I have a bead in my ear. And I was like, you have a what in your ear? So I have a little video otoscope at home that just Bluetooths to your phone. And sure enough, she did have like a little sticky earring bead had just gotten stuck in her ear. So we got it out, no problem. But I guess the trick is, if you do have little ones this Halloween that are saying that they have something stuck in their ear, take them to the doctor, maybe take them to an audiologist who is going to really get in there and look in their ear. We have a bunch of different like fun things that we can give them to hold on to help make them sit still. So if you ever hear someone has something in their ear, maybe just believe them.
Yes, absolutely. All right. So now we're going to head into the treat, because we gave you a trick antidote, and now we're going to head into the treat. So I have kind of a fun treat. Back in the day when Dr. Galloway and I were working in another office, and props to her, because she kind of goes along with whatever I come up with, and she's like, sure, let's do it. So we get to do some crazy ideas. But we had a front desk receptionist who was my daughter's former dance teacher, but she was also a former rockette. And so when Halloween came around, we did I made an ear costume, and we did a little public service announcement or an awareness campaign surrounding Turn It to the Left. There's this whole campaign about turning down the volume to protect your ears. And so we wanted to make it a service announcement. And so Dr. Galloway and I dressed up as Q-tips, and Autumn, who was our receptionist at the time, she dressed up in this ear costume and did a tap dance to it. So instead of actually boring you, unless you guys say in the comments that you want me to post it, but instead of boring you on the actual campaign, because the sound, I was watching it with Whitney and I was like, oh, the sound was terrible back then, what we used to do. But I thought what would be funny would actually be to share the bloopers from that. So let me see if I can find it. Okay, so here is the blooper reel from our Halloween public service announcement, and this is the treat that you guys get. Okay, so here it is, and I think I can just play this here.
I just love the things on your heads.
So that definitely was a treat. I know that Dr. Galloway isn't here, but yeah, that was back in the day when we did some crazy things here. But we did dress up as Q-tips that day, and Autumn was our ear of the day. So that was probably, I would assume, back in Halloween when we were able to do that. And so that was kind of fun. So I'm going to have Whitney now share a treat anecdote as well.
Yeah. So actually, Dr. Galloway and I were talking about this last night before we were leaving, and we we were saying how one really cool thing, especially about our practice here, is our patients, and how a lot of our patients are actually family members. And we have one family that we've been seeing. It started off as we were seeing one of the individuals, and then they told their sibling, and now we see their mom. And I think it's just a really cool opportunity to be able to basically provide services for a whole family. And, it's fun to get to see, patients and, ask them how they're doing, and being able to, you see them maybe once every 6 months. So you could be like, how was your trip to Europe? Or how are your grandkids? Things like that. So I think a real treat, especially being in a small practice like ours, is we actually really get to know our patients. And I think that really sets us apart, and we really value your guys' hearing health, but also what's going on in your lives. And I think that's like a real treat to be an audiologist.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And I know that I just was going to share, I know that Dr. Galloway was prepared as well for today. And I just wanted to share one of her treats that she had in being an audiologist for many years as well. And so I was talking to her, and one of the things that I remember, and then I said, oh, please share this as your treat, is that one of her patients, I recall she helped them. And, you hear of like in the old country or whatever, like you would get payment with pies or turkeys or something like that, right? Or whatever, or cow, or I don't know. I'm like totally throwing it out there. But I do remember when Dr. Galloway did receive a bunch of pheasants. She had to correct me because I thought they were quails. She said pheasants. And so she actually received a bunch of frozen pheasants that she had to put in our freezer with a bunch of recipes from one of her favorite patients as well. And so I thought that was kind of a fun treat to share on behalf of Dr. Galloway as well. Yeah. So with that, we hope you guys have a great Halloween. Be safe out there from the witch and the pumpkin. We hope you guys have a great day, and thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week.